So my name is Annie Millar Desmond, and I've lived here at MorningSun for 5 years. 4.5 solidly, 5 years in a perforated way, because when we first got here, we were half living at Occupy Wall Street and half living here, because as we arrived here, that movement was happening. And we first visited MorningSun 8 years ago, so 3 years before we moved here. I'm from California, mainly. I was raised by parents who meditated a couple hours a day when I was a kid, and spirituality and love were always the most important thing in my family of origin and for me personally, and was a very earnest kid, like reading books for kids about spirituality, and there was a part of me that wasn't like making plans to be a nun, but a part of me for which that made sense. Just like, if this is the most important thing, then just wanted to give myself to it completely. Like, what is life about other than God and love, and wanted no distraction from that. Some deep unnamed feeling within me since I was a child, and I believe Ambrose started feeling that kind of draw when he was fairly young, encountering Plum Village and meeting the monastics and just being so stirred by that living example. When we came to visit Michael and Fern the first time, Ambrose was still holding in his mind, do I want to ordain, or do I want to be a householder? And do I want to get married? Do I want to marry this person, which was me. Part of it was the idea that you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. And who did we want to spend time with? Living in community with Michael and Fern as they were raising their family, and with Candace, Fern's mom, and Sarah, and the people who would come, including the people who were already coming for days of mindfulness. Felt like we'd be learning a lot, and it would be support for us to... I never had any fear that spirituality would not be central at any point in my life, but sort of figuring out some of the logistics of how to integrate spirituality as much as possible as an experiment. How can you be a parent and give as much focus as is possible to your spiritual practice? So we visited over 3 years in every season. And it's interesting. I've had the experience. I don't get a chance to write too often because I'm focused on being present with Finn a lot, and being in the present moment. But I love writing about this experience of practicing with I don't even know what words to use, but I'll just say practicing with cancer. And I've had the experience of a lot of people, including people I barely know, reading about how MorningSun and my practice, which is supported here, has been a raft for me. How supportive it's been to them, just witnessing that. And it's also like, this is like the essence of life, is living with the awareness of the preciousness of it, and that it's a gift. It's hard to feel when you're relatively young and have been blessed in a lot of ways. And it's really a gift. I mean, so I've been really supported living here in experiencing the practice of cancer as an experience that's the best of times and the worst of times. I was diagnosed with already advanced cancer, but even people where it's very early stage, there is a feeling of that, of like, whatever people choose to do with it, whatever their practice is, or whatever feels helpful to them with all the conditions in their lives, there is some experience of one's mortality. Yeah, I kind of love that. You know, it's like I don't want the circumstances surrounding it, but yeah, it's kind of like the 5 remembrances are just like, hi, we're embodied and we're here to like support you experiencing life. Yeah, so it's sort of like not such a usual perspective in a way in our culture. So being here, it's like really that's reflected back to me, you know. It's that's held and supported, and it's in a really exciting moment. MorningSun, there's just sort of a critical mass of really committed practitioners who are deeply grateful to be here and have a lot to give, just very naturally from their hearts. And I think it's a very young at heart community, and there's people who live here who are in their 70s, and I include everyone in that. It's just a sweet time of feeling it manifesting more, but also still with this kind of youthful energy that's part of why we came here in the first place. And I don't mean youthful like in a way that it doesn't include people who are older, but sort of an eternal freshness.
And I want to hear about what your vision has been, because yeah, I'm sure that what the vision that you've had will continue to grow.
So for me, being a place of retreat for activists and people who are doing you know, particularly for activists, but activists come in so many forms: teachers and social workers and all sorts of helping professions, a place where people can take a breath and connect to the deep reasons that they're doing the work that they're doing, because I think we need community. Like, we are herd animals, you know. We're not separate. We don't operate that way, like biologically we don't. And so having an experience of people around us who are helping us cultivate our deepest ideals and reflecting those to us, and having an experience of spaciousness, that combination of spaciousness for ourselves and people around us that are engaging those deep parts of ourselves. So being sort of a retreat grounds for people to then go out into the world and be under duress in some way, but carry that sense of Sangha with them as they're experiencing, you know, sort of violence, broadly speaking, out in the world, to yeah, to carry that sense of retreat, to be able to retreat here and then carry that with them as they're on the front lines, as they're being warriors in all the ways that we are.